got some 300i Origin Jump Works Star Citizen Fighter gameplay for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy that. But most of what I'm going to talk about today is some of the stuff that's gone on at E3, some of the games that I've found the most interesting, and hopefully that you will or have already found to be interesting as well. Also, in other news, I wanted to let you guys know that I won't be able to make as many videos, and I don't even know if I'll be able to make any over the next month, a little bit more than a month or so. I have just finished my finals. I am a college student, so just got that done, and seeing as I'm going to be going home, I'm not going to be near my gaming computer. And the gaming computer is also the same one that I used to record, so I can't really do anything about it. I've tried to set up some games, like hardline things on my laptop, but I've been looking at it and the quality doesn't look too great, so I'm gonna have to either try to fiddle with that or I might have to figure something else out, because I don't really want to give you guys half-assed quality just to put out a video. I want to put out something that you guys will enjoy, that's good quality, that's you know, enjoyable to watch and enjoyable to listen to and everything. But anyways, I think I'll just jump into the games right now. Basically, the first game that caught my eye was Assassin's Creed, and some of you may not be fans of the Assassin's Creed series. I know basically a lot of people liked it, reached its peak at the second Assassin's Creed, but I think a lot of the fandom has slowly sort of diminished after the subsequent games because there's very little that changes, and some of the things they did change ended up not being the best things in some people's opinions. But nevertheless, they've got Assassin's Creed Unity, which is now being worked on, and it's set in the French Revolution. And the things that always just blew my mind about the Assassin's Creed games is how they just draw you into these environments, these amazing environments. In this game, they're also supposedly putting in some sort of a co-op feature where I think you're playing with other people. Now, some of my friends have mentioned that they thought that maybe it was just computer-controlled AI that's working with you, but from what I've seen and from the gameplay that I thought I was watching, it seemed like it was other players that are playing the same game can then jump in. It sort of seems like maybe something, you know, what would be really cool is if they instituted something like Watch Dogs, where you can have other players through multiplayer seamlessly enter your world and just have this experience where, you know, you meet other people. And it would be cool if they maybe had something where, oh, you could assassinate someone, just some way to integrate multiplayer and single player, because that's something I found that's really amazing and really, quite frankly, innovative about Watch Dogs. This game seems to be set in the French Revolution, and this was a time of lots of political and social unrest. There were a lot of riots, a lot of rebellions. Wasn't a great time to be around, but it looks like it would be an awesome time to have an Assassin's Creed game. I'm not a history buff or anything, but I know that things weren't all that hunky-dory over in France, and anyways, I think it seems like a very interesting time to explore as an assassin member of the Assassin Order. Another game that piqued my interest was The Witcher 3, and I haven't played the previous Witcher games, obviously being the third one in the franchise, and I think in actually the trilogy. I think they're only making 3, but don't quote me on that. I'll have to check that out a little more myself. But yeah, there's been 2 others, and I know the first one was pretty relatively unknown when it first came out. It's been getting a little bit more attention, I think. But I know the second Witcher got quite a bit of attention. I think they put a little bit more effort into marketing the game. It came out originally only on PC, then was later made for the Xbox, and so that allowed it to reach a wider audience. But this game is definitely being advertised. It's getting a lot of publicity, and I think this is going to be an amazing open world RPG. And it is open world, is my understanding. With The Witcher 1 and 2 I thought they were maybe open world, but I guess they're not. I think they're a little bit more linear. This one is, I think, more purely open world. Like, you can go anywhere you want. You can take a boat, go somewhere. You can take, you know, I don't know, ride dragons. Probably can't do that, but it is, from the gameplay that I've viewed, shaping up to be quite an interesting game. Dragon Age Inquisition is next RPG to follow up in the Dragon Age franchise, the third one, obviously, and it is also sort of a competitor and almost, I guess, the rival of the Witcher games. And I think the Dragon Age games have done quite a better job of sort of reaching a wider audience, and here I come a little bit too close to a pylon on that little mining facility thing. But yeah, the Dragon Age Inquisition seems to be about, there's a rift that forms in the world. It's allowing a lot of evil demons, spirits, and Emily Rose exorcist things into the world. And now there's got to be someone that can hunt them down, and you're called to try to restore this balance to the world. And by balance, I mean destroying demons and evil things, and just having a blast doing it, I suppose. Anyways, that game seems to be pretty interesting. It seems like it's going to be a great story. I think they learned, BioWare, by they I mean BioWare, learned from Dragon Age 2, which didn't quite have the best story from what I've heard. I'm still playing. I'm going to try to play, I actually am going to try to play The Witcher and Dragon Age, finish that up over my break. But yeah, I know that Dragon Age 2 got quite a bit of critical flack from a lot of the die-hard Dragon Age fans as not having the best story ever, even though it may have improved upon the combat and perhaps the gameplay. I think the story was quite lacking in that game. So hopefully BioWare is able to pull themselves together, make a game that has both great gameplay and some great story elements at the same time. Battlefield Hardline has also been, I guess, released in terms of the fact that the beta has been released. The full game obviously doesn't come out till, I believe, October 21st, or sometime in October, September, something like that. But yeah, that game's going to be coming out then. And in the meantime, we have the closed beta, which becomes an open beta very soon, I think sometime next week. This game is really dividing the Battlefield community. There's some people that are saying this is a much needed Battlefield game that's going to help rejuvenate the series. There's others that are saying that this game is just a reskin of Battlefield 4 and isn't really much of an improvement and definitely not worth $60. I find myself sort of on the edge between both those groups. So I do have a lot of fun with it, but then again, I am having a little bit of a problem with the price tag and the amount of content that they've actually released for it. But then again, it is just in beta, and I think a lot of people are forgetting that. This is just a beta that we played. We've only played one map. There's going to be numerous other maps, numerous other weapons, not to mention a single player that is supposed to be, they're really advertising it to be quite a good single player experience, but from the past, from statistics and from history, we know that Battlefield single player games haven't always been the most moving or anything like that. So hopefully they are able to accomplish that. Visceral is of course heading Battlefield Hardline, the company that's done such games as Dead Space. So hopefully they're able to make a game that really brings the Battlefield community together and just offers an amazing experience. And so I'm hoping they're able to do that, but only time will tell. DayZ, although not anything breaking in the news component category thingamabob, DayZ is going to have a new engine made, and that engine I think is going to be released on the experimental servers quite soon, and on the actual full game for everyone to enjoy and love very soon. This is supposed to make the game a lot smoother, higher frame rates, but the main thing it's fixing is rubber banding, which I know I've experienced plenty in DayZ, where I walk for a mile and then 10 seconds later I've now been teleported back where I was 10 minutes ago. 10 seconds, 10 minutes ago. Not sure about that time analogy. Perhaps it's like Inception, where different times pass when you're rubber banding. Anyways, DayZ, more improvements coming. It's the bottom line of that one. Oh man, and would you look at that? Collided with that guy as I go drifting off Gravity style with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. Never mind. Anyways, respawning now. Another game that's coming out is Dead Island 2. I don't know too much about these games. I know Riptide came out. I actually thought that was a sequel, so maybe this is pulling an Assassin's Creed Revolutions, whatever, Reloaded on us. And they're maybe trying to do something like that. This game looks sort of interesting. I liked the feel of the trailer. I don't think they showed any gameplay at E3, but the trailer was definitely something that put a smile on my face. It made me interested. I was like, maybe I'll check out this game. I like the vibes it's sending off, and so that's that. Now, if you can't already tell, I am basically a person that only plays PC games, but that does not make me jealous of consoles. I really wish I could get a console, but it's not really something that can fit into my life or my budget or anything right now. But someday, hopefully, I'll be able to get a console and be able to play all those juicy exclusives. But some exclusives that really did pique my interest and have definitely made me want to start looking more into the console route. It was first of all the Master Chief Collection, I think it's called, where you basically get Halo 1, 2, 3, and 4, all for Xbox One, with 1 and 2 having been remastered with better graphics and better everything and all that good stuff. Basically, that game would be absolutely amazing for me, seeing as I only played the first Halo and I don't know anything about the story of the rest, but I'd love to know more about the story of that game. I think it seems like really interesting. I'm a space buff. I love sci-fi things, especially things that sort of mix sort of a modern military shooter with alien components. I always like that. That's why I used to watch Stargate. I always loved that. It was such a cool show. Anyways, they're actually rebooting that. I'm not going to talk about that, though. If you want to look into that, that's really cool. Stargate's being rebooted. Yeah. Game. Sunset Overdrive is an Xbox exclusive that's basically parkour zombieing yourself all over the place. Had a very Brink feel to it, like that old game a long time ago. Then when I saw gameplay, it looked completely different. It looks very unique, very over the top, and I think it's made by Insomniac Studios, and they're the ones that made the Ratchet, man, I can't pronounce anything today, Ratchet and Clank games on PlayStation. And I never played those games, but I've always heard that they got really good reviews and a lot of people like those, so I'm assuming this game is going to be pretty interesting and over the top. And yeah, it just seems like it's going to be a very unique game that's going to bring a breath of fresh air to the saturated zombie genre games. PlayStation is making a remastered version of The Last of Us, and I haven't played this game, but I have heard such amazing stuff about this game. That's actually one thing that almost made me buy a PlayStation 3, but then I think I got hooked on something else, and yeah. But anyways, it's coming out on the PlayStation 4, and it's going to allow you to experience The Last of Us remastered. Now, I always thought this game was already beautiful, but I guess they're going to make it even more beautiful. Beautiful on beautiful, beautifulception. Destiny is a console exclusive. They'll be coming out on the PS4 and the Xbone, and it's the one thing that's supposed to really draw a lot of audiences to these respective consoles. And it looks like it's going to be pretty cool. It's sort of like Halo, except maybe with a little dash of Borderlands, a sprinkle of Skyrim, maybe RPG. No, probably not. But anyways, people are saying, oh, maybe Diablo. That's what people were saying. Diablo. Okay. All that stuff packaged into one game is basically what Destiny's supposed to be. And so from the alpha gameplay they showed, looks to be pretty beautiful. So console users will then get to rejoice, and hopefully I'll be able to join them someday in the future. While not a console exclusive, it's still supposed to be pretty cool. Shadow of Mordor is basically Assassin's Creed meets Lord of the Rings in terms of gameplay. Story is supposed to basically be I think either a prequel, or it's supposed to happen at the same time as the movies and in just a different part of the world, or the world of Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth. You play as this ranger that basically has the sight of the ring, so you can sort of see things that other people can't. Eagle vision. But yeah, it seems like it's going to introduce a new mechanic where you can sort of strike fear into the ranks of the orc armies. If you take out leaders, you take out people in a tactical and in a strategic manner, you can demoralize your enemy. And there's a really interesting system that looks to be in place for that game. So if you want to learn more about that, I'd look more into that game. But definitely seems to be maybe a contender for Assassin's Creed if it becomes successful. Maybe we'll start making sequels. But I'm always up for good games that explore the Lord of the Rings universe, and there have been quite a few good ones in the past. Far Cry 4 is a game by Ubisoft. Far Cry 3 just came out last year, and it had a really neat story, had a very unique villain. In fact, I rate Voss up as one of the best villains right after probably the Joker. I mean, you gotta go for the Joker. The Joker by Mark Hamill in the Arkham series has been absolutely astounding. I think Troy Baker, who ended up doing the voice in Arkham Origins, was an absolutely superb Joker in that game. He really captured Mark Hamill's style, and I really enjoy those games. I enjoy Mark Hamill's Joker as one of the most awesome villains ever. But in terms of video games, yeah, Voss is definitely up there, maybe even second. I'd have to think more about it. But yeah, he's an amazing villain. I'm hoping that this game can deliver the same great type of villain. From the box art, it looks like some sort of white guy, Caucasian guy instead of, I don't know, Brazilian maybe? Oh gosh, I'm going to get a lot of flack for that probably. But anyways, yeah, different type of villain, and I'm hoping that he's going to be really amazing, and that's what's going to be able to draw people in. From the gameplay they showed, it takes place in Tibet or some Tibetan mountains or something like that. really neat environment. If they can nail the environment, the feel of those games, and match it with an amazing villain, that game will definitely be successful, and I am definitely looking forward to it. Using the Joker there is a swift little segue. Arkham Knight, the next Batman Arkham Origins game, also is going to be really amazing. You've got the Batmobile, which is the feature they're really trying to shove down your throats for this one, and that's something I've been waiting for so long in one of those games. I always thought, you know, what if they added the Batmobile? I never thought they'd do it, but sure enough, they've done it, and maybe this means they'll even add the Nightwing, or not Nightwing. He was it's called the Batwing, I guess. He really should be called the Nightwing, but I think Nightwing is an actual character in the comics. But yeah, the Batwing, I hope they'll add that later on in the games. I think that would be another amazing vehicle to try out, and I would just absolutely love that. The villain, who's the Arkham Knight, or the main villain, who's the Arkham Knight, seems really interesting, basically like a militarized Batman, and I really want to know more about him. But there's pretty much WB Warner Brothers keeping it on the down low about more about what that villain is, who he is, what's his motives, and everything like that. So look for more on that game because it's going to be absolutely amazing. The only game Nintendo really sort of showed off at their conference stuff was Super Smash Bros. Wii, I think it's called, Wii and 3DS. That looks just like, you know, it's going to be another Super Smash Bros. Nothing really too new, but that's okay because those games are super fun, and I love them, and I play them with friends, and they're really awesome. So if they haven't added a whole bunch, except for characters, then it's probably okay. But they've added, I know, where you can play with your Mii. You can make your Mii get some custom movesets in there, so that'll be really fun to sort of mess around with my buds. And yeah, that's basically all Nintendo showed. Unfortunately, Nintendo is still, in my opinion, still a little bit lacking on the games. I think they've got a lot of... Oh, Zelda! I almost forgot about Zelda. Yeah, they've got a new Zelda game. I think there's two. There's Hyrule Warriors, basically like a Dynasty Warriors meets Legend of Zelda. So that could be interesting. But then they also teased a little bit of a full Zelda game. It's going to be the next one in that series. And that could definitely rejuvenate that console, that series, and that company perhaps. Anyways, that's about all of the games I really found interesting. I know there's more, but those are ones that really piqued my interest, caught my eye. So yeah, let me know what games I missed that you're really interested in. Let me know in the comments below. Leave me a rating, subscribe, all that good stuff if you so desire. And I will see you all in the next video.